So you were brought in as a savior multiple times. Do you feel like you could do you feel like you could relate to what J.J. Abrams had to deal with in 2008, 2009, and saving the Star Trek franchise, when you watched kind of how he was scrutinized before the film came out?
I don't think I thought about it a lot, but to the degree that I did think about it, I understood the position in which he found himself.
Did you have a chance to see JJ's movie?
Sure.
Any quick impressions?
Well, I thought it was spectacular.
Okay. Recently at a press conference, JJ, I know you were friends with his father.
Mm-hmm.
JJ told this cute story about you and him when he was 10 years old.
13.
And he was making a interview tape. Do you remember, in his bedroom, something like that? Do you remember the event at all?
I don't remember that event. I do remember that I attended his bar mitzvah, and that I gave him a copy of the annotated Sherlock Holmes, which he recently told me his son was now reading.
Speaking of Sherlock Holmes, have you had a chance to see the new Holmes movie or any of the?
Not yet.
What's your trepidation factor? I think you once said you haven't liked many of the Sherlock Holmes films in the past.
That's true. I'm not a Sherlock Holmes movie fan. I like the books.
And any kind of pre-thoughts before you go in to see this one?
No, I don't have pre-thoughts. My only pre-thought is I hope I have a good time.
JJ hasn't decided if he'll direct the sequel to the Star Trek film. Obviously, he's got 10,000 projects. So if they start shopping for directors, is this something that you might consider?
Depends on the script.
Depends on the script. But what kind of factors would make you more or less interested, I guess? What kind of movie would you like to make, maybe?
A good one.
I know with you and Cliff Idleman discussed making a opera out of Star Trek 6.
Yeah, we're just trying to get permission from Paramount and people who control this thing.
Did you have a chance to see? There's a silly show called Robot Chicken, and they made a joke opera.
Seen it.
Of Star Trek 2, and it was actually, I thought it was kind of pretty good.
I thought it was very good. Yeah, I loved it. I have it on my computer right now.
In a way, do you think that Star Trek 2 might make a better opera? Maybe it's it's kind of, or a good opera. Seriously, as opposed to just a joke thing on Cartoon Network.
Well, a lot of things have made operas, so it wouldn't surprise me. I think that for some reason I'm more intrigued by the possibilities of 6 than 2, but it's not to say that if I turn my attention to 2, that might also work.
Is there still talk? Are you and Cliff still talking about doing this?
We're still talking, you bet.
Okay. And just wrapping up, what is it, I know you've recently written a movie about Washington and stuff. What do you think, what are you working on now? What's kind of next for Nicholas Meyer?
I just wrote a movie called The Crook Factory for Johnny Depp. It's the last thing I've done.
And that's like a 2011 kind of movie? Who's the director on that?
I don't know. They're making lists.
Okay.
Checking them twice.
Excellent. Is the Washington movie being made?
Not at the moment. We're waiting until there's a better environment for making movies about people.
Maybe you need to reboot them. Turn it into an action movie.
Washington is nothing if not an action movie.
Okay, excellent.